what I will present today is actually the rationale of the industrial researcher program that I started in January at McGill on how to make sure cows age well, or how to keep healthier, more comfortable animal longer in the herds. So the biological lifespan of cow is 20 years. The all-seeing Canadian cows has a lifespan plan for 10 years. But the reality is that dairy farmers rarely keep their cows for that long. In Canada, in Quebec, but also everywhere in the world where we raise animals like dairy cows to produce a high quantity of milk, the animal roughly stay for 5 years in the herds, so 2 years before becoming a productive animal, and then 3 years in production. It is difficult to understand why those animals stay so short in the herd, especially because actually a cow starts to be profitable only after their third lactation. So the 2 first years of production is actually to reimburse the death of the raising cows, while she starts to be profitable in the third lactation and really contribute to the benefits of the business in her fourth lactation. So longevity is quite low, and the replacement rate is actually quite high. So from the total number of cows that will calve for the first time in a herd, only 50% will stay in the same herd up to their third calving. Involuntary culling is more and more important. So what it is, involuntary culling is when the cows is removed from the herd for before its plan. So those reasons out of control are multiple. The first reason is reproduction problem, and all the others are health and welfare related issues. So mastitis, feet and legs, injury problem, disease, when old age account only for 1.6% of the total number of cows that will be killed. So keeping the animal longer in their herds, it's the starting point of the reflection of the research program I'm leading, and the first reason is it's profitable. And actually, when you start to scaling up, the third lactation per cow in a 60 herd, like we have in Quebec, for example, is $25,000 per year. So it's definitely not negligible. As the second aspect, so Jane Goodall said this morning, there's a lot of critique of the industry regarding the environmental footprint. Well, keeping the animal longer actually it's an ecological choice as well. And if you put it differently, can we really justify to rear animals for 2 years and then killing them before it starts to be profitable? The environmental footprint is probably not worth it. The third aspect is the social aspect. There's more and more demand or concern of the society regarding the welfare of these animals that we raise for our own consumption. And keeping the animal longer is a welfare-friendly approach. And when you put it the other way, can we really justify that an animal that can live for 20 years, programmed to live for 10, leave the herd just after 5 years? So longevity is the way. An avenue to reduce the environmental footprint while improving welfare will be to increase the lifespan of the dairy cows and consequently reducing the number of animals to rear. My colleague and I, we wanted to understand what was the link between the longevity and the welfare of those animals, of the dairy cows. And what we did is we visited many farms across Canada, 240 farms in total, and we measure everything. We measure the cows, we measured the housing environment, we did an interview with the farmers, we spent 2 days on each farm, and then we identify some risk factor for the welfare in the cow environment. So here it's an example. In the picture you can see a cow at a stall, and she tied. And when you increase the chain length of those animals, you actually decrease the odds of injuries. So problem solved. One of the problems for early culling, it's injuries. Well, when you increase the chain length of the cow, well, it's connected with the other aspect of the environment. So it's not that simple. And we're conducting research to try to understand how we can optimize the environment of the cow. The second type of risk factor that we found were actually in the farmer's attitudes. So lameness is a major problem in the dairy industry. So a lame cow is a cow that's limping, and she's limping because actually she has pain in the hoof or in the limb. So we visited those farmers, we asked them, well, do you have a problem of lameness in your herd? So most of them told us, no, lameness is not a problem. And then we compared the number of lame animals that they claimed to have on the day of the visit and the number of animals that our trained students counted in the herd. And what we found is farmers underestimated lameness prevalence up to 4.1 times. So if you don't see the problem, you don't see the point of changing your practices. But we just touched it at the beginning of that topic, and Hector Delgado is conducting his postdoctoral fellowship on the topic, trying to understand better the link between the individual cow longevity and the herd profitability. So on that, I will thank you. I thank my sponsor body and the wonderful team that worked with me on McDonald campus on West Island of beautiful Montreal. Thank you.